Howdy folks, and welcome to, well, I don't really know what to call it. Side Strafe's got his strafing run. Devil Dog Gamer's got his Marine Corps Mondays. I wanted to do a question and answer video where I can basically answer all the questions you guys keep asking in the comments and on Facebook and in email and so on and so on. If this is popular, I might make this a weekly thing where you can post comments and ask questions, and this is just another way of communicating with you fellas that for things that aren't really the sort of thing that you can get across in a 500 character limit YouTube comment, for example. So I guess the first thing is, what are we going to call this video series? Post your suggestions in the comments below. The one with the most thumbs up is, providing it's moderately safe for work, is what we'll call the series. So, I suppose, let's get on with the questions. And probably the single most popular question that I get asked in every YouTube video I put up, it's always there in the comments, the front page of my YouTube channel, in the discussion page on there, that's the same question. Facebook, same question every time. How can people send me replays? Well, email popping up on screen right now. Now, here comes the disclaimer. There's one of me, there's 36,000 and growing of you. Don't expect a reply to your emails. I may or may not use any material that you send in. The first you'll know about it is when you see it in a video. There are just too many of you, and there are too many emails that get sent in. And now that I've actually made a video telling you all how to send your stuff in, there's going to be even more. I can't possibly respond to all the emails I get sent. I can't possibly even read all of the emails I get sent. And that brings me on to the next thing. How can you increase the chances that, first, I'm even going to read the email that you send in, and secondly, that I'm going to actually use the content that you send in that email? Well, first things first, send it to the email address. Send it to the Gmail account. People send me stuff via the personal messenger on the World of Tanks forum. People send me stuff via the Facebook page, and that's partially my fault because I haven't actively promoted this Gmail account address. But the thing about sending it to the Gmail account address is I have subfolders on the Gmail account. I have a LOL folder, I have an epic win folder, I have a fail folder, and so on and so on and so on. And it's just so much easier for me to process stuff that's sent in via Gmail. Stuff that doesn't get sent in via Gmail is just increasing the chance that I'm going to say, you know what, I've got 300 other emails to look at. This stuff sent to me via the private messenger or sent to me via Facebook is just too much effort to bother with. And I'm just going to delete it and then move on to the Gmail account where things are just easier for me to process. So you've taken the hint and you've used the Gmail address and you've sent a replay that you think is worth watching and that you think the rest of the subscribers would enjoy watching. How can you increase the chance, if I'm having a particularly bad day and there's 300 emails to look at, how can you increase the chance that I'm going to stop at your email and think, that looks interesting, I'll take a look at that one? Well, if I'm sitting looking at a Gmail page with 50 email addresses on, 50 email addresses with 50 emails listed on it in my inbox, and I know that there are another 4 pages with another 50 emails on each page, if one of them's called 7,000 damage done Kolobanov's medal in a T20, and the rest are just called World of Tanks replay, guess which one I'm going to look at first? So the more information you put into the title of the email, the better the chance it's going to catch my eye, and the better the chance I'm actually going to open it, look at it, view the contents and think, yep, good stuff, I'll save that for future use. Now, probably the second most popular question that gets posed in the comments on the YouTube videos is to do with War Thunder. And it's, Jingles, when I watch your videos you seem to be able to control your aircraft much more easier than I can. When I try to play, my rudder wobbles all over the place and I can't control the plane. What's going on? This is what we call input lag. Reduce your graphics settings. I'm sure there are all sorts of technical explanations I could give for why this happens, but just reduce your graphics settings. If I could get this tattooed on my forehead, it would save so much time, because I'll guarantee you this question has been asked in every single War Thunder video that I put up. War Thunder does have a very, very well optimized graphics engine, but I think it's probably safe to say that it's trying to make the game look prettier than it needs to on all of the different graphics settings. It still looks pretty spectacular, even on low detail. But not everybody's PC can handle it. And if you are having that problem with the aircraft being uncontrollable, well, one of two things is probably happening. One, you're using simplified controls. Don't. Go back into your settings, make sure you've got mouse aim selected. If you do have mouse aim selected and you're running on anything that isn't low graphics settings, just take your graphics settings down a notch. How do you change your graphics settings? It's actually done on the launcher, not from within the game. When you flash up the War Thunder launcher, right at the top, you're going to see graphics settings. Low, medium, maximum, movie, custom, whatever. Just take it down a notch, try the game again. You're going to find 90% of the time that's what fixes your problem. Next question, and staying on War Thunder, I'm crediting this question to one of the subscribers who calls himself the Prussian, although many of you have asked this question. And the question is, Jingles, will you be ditching World of Tanks for War Thunder when War Thunder's tanks come out? And it's been quite a popular question. Simple answer, no. More complicated answer, no, because I still like World of Tanks. It's the cause of more frustration than any other game I have ever played. But that's not the fault of the game. The game's fantastic. I just get frustrated with some of the teams that I end up on. The game itself is brilliant. I'm keen to see what War Thunder does with the tanks and the naval combat. They're doing the naval combat next, they're leaving the tanks till last, and that's quite sensible, really. I mean, why go head-to-head with World of Tanks? World of Tanks' next big project is World of Warships. They don't have a development lead over War Thunder on World of Warships, the same way they have the development lead over the with the tanks. So they're actually being quite clever about doing this. They're bringing War Thunder's air combat out head-to-head against World of Warplanes, and it's looking pretty competitive. And then they're going to be bringing their warship game out head-to-head with World of Warships. And that gives them all the time in the world to perfect the tank combat, because, let's face it, World of Tanks is the market leader. Why will I not be ditching World of Tanks? Aside from the fact that I like it, there's no reason to. They're both free-to-play games. There's no reason why you can't play both. And I probably will play both. And there's no reason why you guys can't play both. None of them have to cost you a penny to play. They're both free to play. If you want to play one or the other, that's entirely up to you. Some of you may not have the same amount of time to spend on games as I do. I'm retired. I can sit here all day playing games. It's fantastic. But there's no reason why you can't play both. If they're both good, play them both. That's my answer to that one. A number of you have very generously, has to be said, offered me the use of your accounts in order to review certain tanks that you know I don't have. I have actually done this before. One particular, his name was Herikatai. I think he was Greek. Oh, I can't remember. No, actually, I remember now. He was actually a Scandinavian, and for some reason I thought he was Greek, and got that horribly wrong when I was crediting him with allowing me the use of his patch 7.5 test server account. In particular, when I was playtesting the AMX-50 Foch 155 French Tier 10 tank destroyer. So I have used people's accounts before. There was another guy, I forget his name off the top of my head, who allowed me to use his account so I could play his T-34 premium Tier 8 American heavy tank. I don't want to do it anymore because it is apparently against the terms of service of World of Tanks. And I don't want to lose my account, and I don't want you to lose your account by doing it. So while it is a good idea, I mean, you guys who own mouses, I want to do a mouse review. But in order to, and KV4 as well, and STIs or ST1s or whatever the hell you call them, these are some of the most popular tank requests that I get asked to do reviews of. But I don't even have a KV3 at the moment, so in order to do an ST1 review, first I have to get a KV3, and then I'd have to go through the KV4 and then get the STI, and it's just going to take time. Same with the mouse. I've just rebought the Tiger P, and I will, as a long-term project, be doing the 4502A and the 4502P and eventually the mouse. But everybody wants everything now, and so people are very generously offering me the use of their accounts so I can play their mouse or their 452A, 452P, or so on, so on, and so on. Not worth the risk, fellas. I don't want to lose my account over it. I don't want you to lose your account over it, and it's not exactly, a secret. There's 36,000 of you watching these videos every day. Somebody's probably going to realise that I'm not using my own account for these reviews, so there's just too much of a risk. Thank you for the offers, and I understand the frustration where you're sitting around, you've been waiting 6 months for me to do a mouse review, and it's probably going to take another 6 months before I get around to doing one. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Sorry about that. Next question. Jingles, why do you never live stream World of Tanks with Quickie Baby on Twitch TV anymore? Well, it's not my Twitch TV channel. Basically, it's Quickie Baby's, it's his house. I'm only a guest there. If he asks me along, then yeah, I'm always happy to oblige. I do enjoy platooning up with him, and that's actually the first live stream I ever did was when Quickie Baby invited me along. And I'm a big fan of Quickie Baby. He's a far better player than I will ever be. His ability to just process information and then react to it is leaps and bounds ahead of what I could do. And that's one of the reasons why I don't live stream World of Tanks. Simple reason being, I'm just not good enough. And I'm not ashamed of admitting it. If you're going to run your own live stream in a game like World of Tanks, you need to be good. And I mean, you need to be seriously good. You need to be an 1800 efficiency rating player or be bloody entertaining. And I'm just not good enough. Yeah, you could argue whether I'm entertaining or not. But I tend to... It's very, very easy for me to sound all suave and sophisticated when you're watching a replay after the game. During the game, I was cursing like a sailor. It's appropriate enough because I used to be a sailor. But to actually carry a live stream, no, I couldn't do it. And I know a lot of you are going to be disappointed, but I have no plans to do my own live streaming. Purely and simply because I am just not good enough to carry a live stream of my own for hours and hours and hours. Most of my games are just average. Average to good, and certainly not good enough to keep people entertained for hours at a time. If you want to watch World of Tanks live streaming, by all means, keep tuning in to Quickie Baby. He streams 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, and oh, there goes my wing. And he is amazing. He is seriously, seriously good. Another guy you should watch out for, Circumflexes. He is amazing. I was privileged to take part in one of his live streams last Friday or Saturday, I think it was, and I've got some footage of that I'll be putting up. He's really entertaining. Great World of Tanks player. He loves his same kind of tanks as Quickie Baby, but I have no plans to do my own live streams. I'm just happy to piggyback off other people's efforts. I live stream World of Thunder. My God, Jingles, you've forgotten how to speak English. I live stream War Thunder every Saturday night on HB Origins Twitch TV channel. And if Quickie Baby wants to invite me along to live stream World of Tanks, then yeah, I'm more than happy to come along. But it's his house, it's his rules. I'm certainly not going to put him under any pressure to have me back. Next question, always a popular one. Jingles, I sent you a PM yesterday in World of Tanks or War Thunder, and you never responded. Don't you care about your subscribers anymore? Well, and I never get tired of answering this one. This is the reason why I hardly ever respond to PMs in online games. That's what it looks like in War Thunder every time I come out of a battle. The message PM headers just scroll so far down that I can't even read the text box. And sure, I could expand the text box, but then all I would see is a wall of green text from squadron invitations, and there's just too many of them. And the way I schedule my gaming time, it's kind of like a job. I have a limited amount of time in each day in order to go about actually getting the footage that you guys see in the videos. I have to schedule gaming time and hope I get something good enough to be able to show you. If I don't, then I have to keep playing, and I don't have time in between games to stop and respond to all of these messages. When I do get the footage that's good enough to use, I then have to edit it, I then have to add a commentary, I then have to upload it, I have to wait for YouTube to process it. I mean, it can take, and I'm not exaggerating, depending on the length of the video, but anything from at least 3 hours per video to up to 8 hours just to get one video up. And I'm putting one video up or more every day. It's a colossal amount of effort, and I really do have to prioritise how I spend my time when I'm actually in game. Unfortunately, none of that is prioritised towards answering random PMs. There are just too many of them. So, and I apologise. Again, this is going back. Answering your comments on all the YouTube videos and replying to the emails that I got sent in and chatting with people in the game when PMs would pop up was my highlight of the day back when I started off because I only had 100 subscribers and getting messaged was very rare. And so, as with anything that's unusual, you enjoy it. And I really did enjoy chatting with everybody. It was great. And it's kind of the curse of your own success and popularity as more and more of you subscribe, more and more of you are trying to get in touch with me. And it's getting to the stage where the simplest thing to do is to just ignore all of them. I'm really sorry, but there isn't time, and there's too many of you. I just have to ignore the lot and crack on, get my nose down to the grind wheel, and carry on playing to try and get the footage that I need. And every time I come out of a game, I'm looking at a screen like that, and I cannot. There's just too many of you guys. I'm sorry. Next question. This is for Jack Smith, who asked this question on the discussion page of the YouTube channel. He wanted to know if you could use the quote "fair fights are for suckers" from my Meanwhile Over German-occupied Norway video as his clan motto. By all means, I mean, I don't hold the copyright on the saying. If you want to use it, go ahead and use it. You don't have to ask me. Next question, and I get this a lot. Jingles. I want to put my own replays up on YouTube, but every time I try to upload a World of Tanks game, YouTube says it doesn't recognise the file format. Please help. What you're trying to do is upload game data to a video hosting service. You need to upload video to YouTube because that's what YouTube does. YouTube doesn't recognise the data contained. It doesn't know how to process the data contained in a World of Tanks replay. Only World of Tanks knows how to process the data in a World of Tanks replay. What you need to do is record a video of the World of Tanks replay and upload that video to YouTube. Same with anything, War Thunder, Call of Duty, you name it. You have to record video of the game and upload the video, not the actual game file itself. YouTube doesn't understand how to process a World of Tanks replay, a War Thunder replay, whatever, because processing World of Tanks and War Thunder replays ain't YouTube's business. YouTube hosts videos. So, in order to do that, you're going to need screen capture software of some kind. I use Bandicam, but you don't have to use Bandicam. You can use Fraps, DxTory. There are any number of different products available. Fraps has been around for years. The reason I used Bandicam was because the trial version of Bandicam, which all of my early videos, if you see any of my videos and they've got www.bandicam.com plastered all over the top, they recorded on the trial version of Bandicam. Bandicam's trial version allows you to record up to 10 minutes at a time, as many times as you want. And since most World of Tanks games didn't last longer than 10 minutes anyway, it was ideal for my purposes, and that's why I used it. Fraps, good software as well, but it only allows you to record up to 30 seconds at a time on the trial version, so that's why I went with Bandicam. And now obviously you're no longer seeing the Bandicam watermark. I've paid for it. I'm using the full version. People also ask what I use to edit my software. I have spent some money and I've gone out and bought Cyberlink Power Director 11. There are other products out there if you want to spend some cash, Sony Vegas being one of the market leaders, but you don't have to spend a penny. Windows Movie Maker works just fine. That's what I used for probably the first 6 months of doing this. Again, didn't spend a penny doing it. There's no reason why you have to either. So remember, you cannot upload raw replay files to YouTube because YouTube only hosts videos. If you want to get your stuff up on YouTube, same way I started off, you're going to need some sort of screen capture software. I would recommend Bandicam purely because it allows you to record 10 minutes at a time if you don't mind having a watermark on your video. And 10 minutes is usually enough for most of our purposes. And if you like what you see, feel free to go ahead and buy it. But there are other products out there. Try them all. There are trial versions of the lot. See which you prefer. Next question. And I've been asked this in a lot, particularly since patch 1.29 came out. Comes up a lot in the comments of the War Thunder videos. Jingles, do you think War Thunder is pay to win? Simple answer to that question, not yet. At the moment, no, I don't think it is. Although I can see why people would make the accusation. And we're talking about, I mean, what is it you can actually do? What can you spend money on in War Thunder to make it easier to play? And we're basically talking about crew training. And with a 100% crew with ace training on ground crew reload, for example, you can be reloading your machine guns every 6 seconds. And that's a distinct advantage if you're any good in the first place. Because if you're crap, it doesn't matter how fast your guns reload, all you're doing is paying to miss. Because, if you're a crap pilot, having guns that reload faster after you've fired an entire belt of ammo and not hit anything is not going to make you suddenly start shooting down enemy aircraft. You need to actually know what you're doing in the first place to take advantage. And if you do know what you're doing, then yes, there is certainly an element of that with crew training in War Thunder, but it's nowhere near the same degree as you get in World of Tanks with gold ammunition, for example. I've been playing games in World of Tanks, and I'm not accusing World of Tanks of being pay to win either, but it's more susceptible to the accusation than War Thunder is at the moment. I've been playing games on my E100 where I've had T-54s rolling to a halt right in front of me and just putting shots right through my gun mantlet. And how did he manage to do that? He spent real money for gold ammunition. And either way you look at it, you're spending money for gold ammunition. You're either running a premium account, which costs real money, or you've bought premium tanks to finance your credits, which has cost you real money, or you're just flat out buying the ammunition for gold, which costs real money. It's certainly more vulnerable to accusations of pay to win than War Thunder is at the moment. That doesn't mean I don't think War Thunder is without its issues as far as the gold economy is concerned. What they've done in patch 1.29 is they've slashed the amount of credits that you actually earn with this economic model that they're testing out at the moment. And this is what has really got people riled up about patch 1.29 and has pissed off a lot of people, and justifiably so, because they've vastly inflated the amount that it costs to buy new aircraft. And they have slashed the amount of credits that you earn playing in arcade. So the rate at which you're earning money has been just crippled. The amount that it costs to buy new aircraft has been inflated astronomically. But what they're also doing, and this is the sneaky part, this is the part that really I was very disappointed about, they're throwing XP at you like nobody's business. When patch 1.29 went live, they introduced this new achievement system, and a lot of people logged in on the day 1.29 went up and found out that they'd actually retrospectively earned a lot of these new achievements. And the majority of these achievements they throw hundreds of thousands, in some cases 1 million or more free experience at you. But the thing about free experience is you can't touch it unless you convert it with gold, and gold costs money. So if you were like me, you logged in and you looked and you saw millions of free XP just sitting there. You thought, well, wow. Let's say, for example, you were rank 14 in the British Air Force, and you realised that you had enough XP to skip 3 whole ranks and start flying jets. So, oh, hell yeah. How much is that going to cost? 3,000 gold, please. And just, pulling a figure out my arse, because I'm not sitting here looking at the Uplay website at the moment. That's 20 euros. Well, yeah, but I could be flying jets. Screw it. Shut up and take my money. And a lot of people did that. But here's the kicker. They then found out that they didn't have enough money to buy these new aircraft because they now cost 10 times what they previously had. How are you going to fix that? 3,000 gold, please. Another 20 euros, or however much it costs. And converted gold into credits that way. And there's no real practical other way of doing it if all you do is play arcade battles, because you earn so little money in arcade battles now, and the aircraft costs so much more. And that, for me, just seemed like a really, really cynical ploy to get people to buy gold. Is that actually what they were doing? It's very, very hard to defend against the accusation, because whether that's what they intended to do or not, that is what people are being forced into doing if they want to actually get any new aircraft. I mean, they haven't cut the rate of XP that you're gaining, and they're throwing free XP at people like it's going out of business. So a lot of people are finding themselves in the position where they might be rank 8 in the American Air Force, but they can't afford to buy any aircraft higher than rank 6. And their rank keeps going up and up and up and up, and they're still stuck on the same aircraft because they can't afford to buy anything else. So the current economic model in War Thunder is... It's not pay to win, it's pay to play. you know, if you want to buy aircraft to match the rank that you have because of the amount of XP that you're earning, you have to buy gold and convert gold into credits, because you're certainly not going to do it by playing arcade battles. The money making is just not there. So that, War Thunder pay to win? No. Not at the moment. It may become pay to win in the future. I don't know. This is just one economic model they're testing out. At the moment, it's pay to play, whether you like it or not. And that is the root cause of most people's being just, really, really annoyed with the current economic model in War Thunder. And as I keep saying over and over and over, it's a beta test. They've tested one extreme of the economic system where they just throw credits at you in every game you play. They're testing the other extreme of the economic model where they're making it very, very difficult to progress and earn credits. At least I hope that's what they're doing. And I have no doubt, however, that there will be... we're not looking at the final economic model in the game. It's only been 2 weeks. It hasn't been long enough for them to analyse people's buying and spending patterns. My advice to you, don't buy any gold. Just don't do it. If they see that this is working, there's no reason for them to not do it. They're in the business to make money at the end of the day. Don't do it. Resist the urge. Vote with your wallet. Next question, and this is one that I'm always seeing, whether that be on Facebook, in the comments to videos on YouTube, whatever. And the question always looks something like this. Jingles, I have a limited amount of gold and I want to know what's the best premium tank I can buy. Or it might even be slightly more precise than that. They might say, Jingles, should I get a Jagdtiger 88 or a T-34? And you are almost never, ever going to get a straight answer from me if you ask that question, for a number of very good reasons. First of all, if you ask that question, the only thing I know about you is that you are in the market for Tank A or Tank B. I don't know what other tanks you have in your garage. I don't know what kind of tanks you like driving. I don't know if you're any good at driving those tanks. Just because I, for example, like the IS-6 doesn't mean you're going to be able to do well in it. You might suck at driving heavy tanks. So I can sing the praises of the IS-6 all night, and if you're not interested in driving heavy tanks, there's absolutely no point whatsoever in me recommending it to you. Plus, for example, people will often ask, should I get a T-34 or a Löwe? Well, I don't know. Do you have any other American heavy tanks? Do you have any other German heavy tanks? Because you can use these premiums for training the crews of your existing heavy tanks of the same nation. So if you've already got a Tiger, a Tiger II, and an E-75, I can't really recommend you go out and buy the T-34 if you don't have any American heavies. Far better to get a Löwe and use the Löwe daily double to train your existing German heavy tank crews. But I don't know this based on should I get a T-34 or a Löwe. Another reason would be I've actually gone to a considerable amount of time and effort doing reviews of these tanks and putting, in some cases, hour-long videos up on YouTube where I answer that question for you in far greater detail than I can manage in a 500 comment limit YouTube reply. So watch the video. That's what they're there for. And more importantly, don't take my word for it. I might think something's amazing, but that's going to be based on my own experiences. And my own experiences are going to be coloured by what I prefer driving. I love my tank destroyers. I love my medium tanks. I like my heavies as well. My light tanks, I'm a bit hit and miss. Some of them I think are really good. Some of them I'm not so good in, even though they're fun driving. And I'm certainly not an expert at every tank in the game. Far from it. So don't just take my word for it. Watch the videos. But draw your own conclusions about whether or not you think a machine is going to be good for you or not. based on the good points and the bad points that I've showed it. But just don't go out and take my word for it and get something just because I've said something's an amazing tank. Use your brain. Watch the video. Have a look around on YouTube for other people who have reviewed the same machines. Get an alternative viewpoint. And make your own mind up based on the information available that I've got a considerable amount of time and effort to provide for you, and decide based on that, not on a one sentence long reply to a YouTube comment, because you're just not doing yourself a service. Finally, I just wanted to give a big shout out to everybody that I met at the Wargaming EU community meet in Bournemouth on Friday the 29th of March. What was happening was Wargaming were attending the Tiger Day at the Bovington Tank Museum. That was on the Saturday. The day before, they decided it would be a great idea, since they were in Bournemouth anyway, to have a meet and greet with the EU community. And people came from all over. There were Polish players, there were Romanian players, there were people from the length and breadth of the UK, obviously. I went down along with my mate Eddie, and Graham, who was actually the guy driving Little Fritz in the How to Not Suck video. Eddie was driving Ivan. I was in the AMX 5120. And we met a whole bunch of people. Supercharge, one of the EU community team was there. Hector, who is obviously EU community team member and I've played with on Quickie Baby's live streams. It was the first time I've met him in person. But more importantly, I met some of you subscribers, and it was fantastic. There were a whole bunch of guys who'd come over from, I think it was Romania. And it was really, really, really good. I had as much fun meeting you guys as you had meeting me. One of them in particular was the size of a house. This guy was absolutely massive. And he was one of the funniest guys you've ever met as well. I remember the first time I clapped eyes on him, he'd come up from behind me, and he was trying to get past to go out the door and down to the bathroom. And I turned around and there's this mountain standing behind me, and he just said, excuse me, mouse coming through." Without realising who I was, and of course I didn't know who he was. And then half an hour later, one of them came over and asked Hector if they could be introduced to the Mighty Jingles, and I was actually talking to Hector at the time. I was like, yeah, that's me. There was an entire table full of them, and it was really, really good talking to them, and really, really nice to be able to meet some of you fellas. So we all had our pictures taken, and Man Mountain gave me a hug for the camera and nearly broke my shoulder, and yeah, it was a good night. So, as well as just, being a fun opportunity to meet people who play World of Tanks, and, meet and greet with some of you subscribers, they also had a bunch of giveaways. They did a raffle. They gave away some VIP tickets to Tiger Day at Bovington the day after. They gave away some T-shirts, some Wargaming mugs, and so on and so on. And everybody who was there was given a couple of cards with bonus codes. So I got the B2 Tier 4 heavy German tank, 300 gold, a day of premium, and an extra garage slot just for turning up. But they also gave away a whole bunch of closed beta test access codes for World of Warplanes. Now, my feelings about World of Warplanes are pretty much a matter of public record. I thought it sucked, but I got right in at the start of the closed beta of World of Warplanes when it was in its most rough and unpolished state. Obviously, they've done a lot of work on World of Warplanes in the it must be 6 months since I played it. And the non-disclosure agreement is being lifted on the 4th of April. So from the 4th of April on, you're going to start to be able to see gameplay footage and reviews and all sorts of good stuff on YouTube about World of Warplanes without, fear of the guys putting the videos up having their closed beta account access removed. And I already have closed beta access for World of Warplanes. So what's coming up on your screen right now is the access code that I was given for World of Warplanes beta test. So this is quite literally a case of the first person to input this access code on the World of Warplanes beta site gets themselves access to the World of Warplanes closed beta. So there you go. They gave it to me. I already have one. No use to me. I'm giving it away to whoever amongst you is the quickest off the mark. So, it was actually worth sticking around to the end of this video after all. Anyway, at least I hope one of you is going to get some enjoyment out of that. So, that brings my first Q&A with the Mighty Jingles to a close. Feel free to give me some questions for future Q&A videos. Remember, I still need a name for this video series. Side Strafe's got his strafing run. Devil Dog Gamer has his Marine Corps Mondays. I need a name for this. Comments, suggestions in the comments below. If you've got questions that you want me to answer in the next video like this that I do, then again, that's what the comments below this video are for. I'm going to make sure I keep this video bookmarked, and I'll keep coming back and taking note of the most popular questions, and we'll see if we can't get them answered in the next video that I do. So as always folks, take care on that battlefield, or if you're flying, watch your six, and I'll catch you next time.